to pachu friction parno bro kar es god activity karna god kar es ki activity yan mas kya kor ase god kar es ki activity for example as kar god activity kashir pachan kitab hans activity kar kya gai the friction kya go yus oppose kar relative motion that is one friction opposes relative motion between surface and the table the pat kar es brick hans karna pat kar ethai pachan as या ये क्या वना स्मूथ फ्लोरस पे ज्यादा फ्रिक्शन गसान कि रफ सरफेस पे गसान ज्यादा फ्रिक्शन ओ तय समझ का इथे पे रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन कर करना एम कर चोर एक्टिविटी वन तान वो कह सवाल एम तय समझ गोडनुक सवाल एक नंबर सवाल एम गई सा डिफाइन फ्रिक्शन ये डिफाइन फ्रिक्शन करान क्या गो फ्रिक्शन गो सो ताकत सो फोर्स युस जन motionus oppose karan resist karan tawai chona friction is the force which resists the motion of a body while moving on a surface matlab go ye at resist karan paknas mans karan resist to ach wana is friction to tura fikri masalan for example tur ch paka ya kya wana सड़क पे सड़क सह रेजिस्ट कर मोशन मगर टर् रोजान पकान यु ब्रेक दिवान तवे रुकान तमिक फ्रिक्शन सह गाड़ी रुकान दुम व्हाट इज मेंट बाय स्लाइडिंग फ्रिक्शन क्या गई अमिच एक्टिविटी करना अमिच एक्टिविटी कर व्हाट इज स्लाइडिंग फ्रिक्शन when one surface is sliding over the other sliding friction comes into place the yela surface big surface per when a surface sliding over the other tatra figure achwana sliding friction but static friction kya go static friction gai counterbalance the applied force on the body comes into play to counterbalance the applied force static the counterbalance tatra figure achwana is static friction em ek number in sawal image definition chota yaad thawen static friction kya go sliding friction kya go friction kya go o ta samjh ka em menu go bro yaad thaw static friction kya go yelas counterbalance kara kya applied force counterbalance kya go matlab for example action dewa pakne ki kan cheez ash tat zyada zor lagawan static friction ethe par sliding friction yel slide कर इथे पे lubricants क्या गए lubricants the substance which reduces friction are called lubricants इस पर इस गाइड त्रावान mobilial oil छना त्रावान m oil mobilial त्रावान गाइड इस क्या त्रावान गाइड यम तान आसान तथ तम अख अकिस पकान आसान अगर तम फ्रिक्शन करन ज्यादा अख अकिस तमन गसान क्या तमन गई ज्यादा फ्रिक्शन तमन गई ज्यादा वियर एंड टियर तह तरो फिक्र तमन गई ज्यादा वियर एंड टियर तवे मोबिलियल ऑयल करान ताकि सु गस फ्रिक्शन गस लो कम गस फ्रिक्शन गस कम लुब्रिकेंट क्या गो लुब्रिकेंट गो सु चीज व्हिच reduces friction are called lubricants using friction reduce kar tach wana lubricant what is rolling friction when one body rolls over the surface of another body the resistance to its motion is called the rolling friction il roll gasan kun roll pe tach wana rolling frictions what are fluid is the common name given to gases and liquids fluid common gatch device gases is to be liquids do fluid exert friction yes fluids also exert friction what is meant by air resistance there is a friction between a moving object and the air through which it moves known as air resistance for example the shot has been played against the wind umalo approach hawa ema yus ball pat thait khasan tach oppose karan hawa sushtat wapas devan along with air go yapar hawa gasan tapar is digin a shot ta tra figri ach wana yich friction kar friction kya basically use friction basically switches use motionus oppose kar pat im ek number in sawal im chute zabardast yaad thawn menu go bro what are fluids kya gaye do fluids exert friction yes fluids exert friction air friction what is meant by drag a drag kya go the frictional force extended by fluid is known as drag The frictional force extended by fluids is known as drag. अगर तुम किताब पे वुचो तुम ये हथ मैनो गोबर एक दोमिस पेजस पे static friction छा क्या static friction, limiting friction छा sliding friction. So the force of friction called into play which does not allow two bodies to slide upon one another is called static friction. It is a self-adjusting force that only as much as it is necessary to prevent the motion. Limiting friction. The maximum static force of friction comes into play when body just slides upon another body is called the limiting friction. Dynamic friction. The force of friction acting between the two bodies when they are sliding upon one another with a uniform speed is called dynamic friction or sliding friction. और what is dynamic friction मतलब friction गो तुम friction गो सह चीज अकिस करान अपोज पे laws of limiting friction laws ये आपको बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ें हैं ये laws of limiting जिस पर मैंने ये बॉक्स बनाया है. Laws of limiting friction. Limiting friction always opposes the motion of a body. Any friction opposes the body of a motion. Limiting friction is oppose the body of a motion in direction opposite to the direction of applied force. Friction the friction is relative motion oppose relative motion oppose limiting friction depends upon the nature of surface in contact with each other. Limiting friction nature of smooth surface, polished surface, rough surface. Limiting friction increases with increase in the weight of the body and vice versa. Agar vice versa को opposite limiting friction च गसान ज़्यादा अगर body हुंद weight ज़्यादा आस अगर body हुंद weight आस कम limiting friction ते गस कम. Limiting friction is independent of area of contact between two provided the weight of the body and the nature of surface does not change. Which is tzor chuta yaad thawan. You see activity show me to godat karna ima sare activity menu gobro community class mans perte homo te board spet homo te pat homo desk spet homo na to you activity but rolling friction. Before we discuss rolling friction, let us perform the following. A wooden block provided with hook, a spring, a catch me. एक गो मैंने गोबर एक रोलिंग फ्रिक्शनस मज चीज अत तवो स्प्रिंग बैलेंस रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन क्या मुहे रोलर्स पेंसिल थो कापी तल पे दमो दह वो कोत पेंसिल तो चलान नीर कापी तो रुकित रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन यह मे पोर्मुत पर्नोमुत तवे गेल युथ खालान गाड़ी मज तथा त्रावान तम तल तम गोल गोल टुकर ताकि ये पके तेज और वत समझ का इथे पे चीज यम जन याद थावन यह गई ओतान फ्रिक्शन और वत समझ का आज गो मैनो गोबर यूत गो वो अस मा रूद अख नंबर सवाल का बे तेल करोन अख नंबर सवाल पत तुलो अस 2 नंबर सवाल और वत मैनो गोबर समझ का अख मिनट बूझ तुम मा 2 नंबर सवाल क्या Why is it difficult to walk on ice? Is what is drag? The frictional force extended by fluids is known as drag. Used to fluid ka frictional force exert kare that's one is drag. Is friction a contact force or contact force? Friction is body contact why is it difficult to walk on ice? It is difficult. The friction feet and ice is less. It is difficult to walk on ice because the friction between feet and ice is less. Where come friction? Youth frictional force ज़्यादा है तो boot's grip आसान क्या frictional force बढ़ावा. When a boat is moving in the river, does the water offer force of friction to its movement? Yes, water oppose case the water opposes the movement of the boat. Suppose your writing desk is tilted a little. A book kept on it starts sliding down. Show the direction of frictional force. Frictional force will act upward. That is the direction opposite to the sliding book. What is the function of ridges on your palm and bottom of your feet? The function of the ridges is to increase friction. Grip. When your writing desk is tilted little, a book kept on sliding down. Mention the direction of the frictional force. The frictional force acts in the upward direction. Explain why sportsmen use shoes with spikes. Sportsmen use shoes with spikes to increase the friction and to run so that they can run faster. Why does the force of friction exist? Friction is caused by irregularities on two surfaces in contact. Can we have surfaces with zero friction? No, the friction can be less in some surfaces, but it can never be zero. Why do the soles of shoes wear out? So due to friction between the sole and the ground, sole galan bootas with homo. Why are the soles of shoe grooved? The grip banana bapat groove nakashi how do trees help to strong speed of winds come? Friction reduce friction